this video, we're going to assess the front end of this thing. It kind of feels like the front wheels are going to fall off. See how the brakes are, calipers and everything. I bought a front end kit which has control arms, towered ends, ball joints, a bunch of stuff. I'm also going to compression test it. I probably should have done that a while ago. And then I just got it back from the tinter. Check out this tint. Looks way better all tinted out. This is the kit I got. Control arms, all bushings in them. Sway bar end links, tie rod end, ball joints. So that should tighten up the front end pretty good. Well, let's pop a front wheel off and see how it's feeling. It really doesn't look too bad in here. It's pretty dirty and rusty. I mean, it's probably safe to say these front struts are blown. I don't really know what I want to do with these yet. I don't really want to replace them with stock. Maybe a stock strut with a different spring. But there's a heavy clunk whenever you hit any bumps. So I was thinking it could be any of these control arm bushings bumping up and down, or the ball joint. So I'm just gonna do everything right now and then see how it drives, and then it could be just a blown strut going up and down, but we'll see. So I started with the passenger side, and it's gotta be the most pain-free, easiest thing I've ever done. I hope this side's the same. I think they've been replaced probably already. Most of the bolts have never C's on them, but friggin' bolt, boom, bam, back in, ready to rock. Let's do this side. Old stuff, new stuff. This new stuff's actually way beefier. Like the metal's thicker. Pretty much on everything, single thing. So new end on here, new sway bar link, new control arm. This needs to be washed. Look at this coating of schmutz. One thing the kit should come with is this sway bar bushing, because it basically comes with everything except that. But hopefully that clunk goes away. I cannot believe how easy that was. It was like maybe an hour, did the whole thing. So compression test time. I'm nervous. Got the numbers. Pretty much 150 across all 6 cylinders except cylinder 5 is 125. So it's 25 PSI different. It's like 15%, I guess. I think it's sufficient to rock until the wheels fall off. I mean, maybe these things are pretty bad for head gaskets. Maybe something like that's going on. We're slowly starting in number 5, but that's with a cold engine as well, so I think we'll run it. What's up, dude? After test driving the car, after the whole front end was redone, it's definitely the struts that are blown that are making the clunk. It drives tighter for sure. It's dead straight, but I need rotors, pads, and new struts. I'm trying to find struts. All the pads and rotors are on the way, so I'll do those, but not a lot of options for these cars. I don't really want to spend $400 or $500 on front struts that are stock. I'd rather spend $1,400 on coilovers, but hopefully I can find some if somebody has. Maybe some for the meantime or some used coils, but we'll see. Got new fluids, we're gonna do some oil, filter, and then I got some gear oil for We're gonna modify the G80 locker. We're gonna weld that little flap so it locks at all speeds. And then it's gonna snow and we're gonna freaking shred it. I found a pretty substantial oil leak, kind of below the manifold. I don't know if it's oil pan gasket or what the deal is, but not ideal. But I'm not gonna look at it right now. We're gonna jack this thing up and then weld the G80 locker flap so it locks all the time. This is my first time cranking up a IRS one in the back. You definitely don't just crank it up and weld it. I'm gonna have to fully pull it out, I guess. Look at this. Usually, nice straight axle, diff, jack it up, take the plate off, just weld it, but the diff is right here. So I'm gonna have to drop a bunch of stuff and God damn it. That was an insane amount of work. Independent cars in the back, substantially harder. So these both stripped out inside, so I had to cut that sway bar off. I'll have to get either a new sway bar or if I can find these bushings. And this situation, it's out and it's ready, and I will say you really gotta want it if you're gonna do this. Both the e-brakes cables were rusted here, so they were cut, and I'll have to get new e-brake. I may as well get new diff bushings while I'm in here. I don't really want to come back in here again. I hope I don't ever shear anything, any CVs or anything. No Neva mats, which is nice. Yeah, we're gonna got this mostly cleaned out here. So we're gonna weld this puppy. Once it gets enough inertia, this pulls out and it opens up. So we're gonna weld this shut right there and it'll just be a locker all the time. Holy moly, this is crazy. That flap ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, rough shape, low swearing. Calipers, pads. Waiting for the e-brake cable here, but we got calipers and pads, the sides.
So new e-brake cable on both sides, new pads, new rotors. Almost on the road. Okay, we got all new rotors, all new pads around. E-brake parking shoes are still like 100%, I think, because the e-brake was broken. The e-brake cable was snapped on one side, and then the other side broke when I was taking it apart. So I have the middle section and the right rear one installed. The left one I'm having a hard time finding. These cars are impossible to find stuff for. Like little weird Mark II IRS stuff is super hard to find. But it's going back on the ground today. I took it up. I jacked it up initially just to weld the diff really quick. I jack it up. I'm used to the straight axle cars where it's you just jack it up. You can basically take the pan hard bar off and you can just weld it and put it back in. This one I had to drop the whole subframe, which I wouldn't recommend doing. I would at least do it on concrete if not a hoist with concrete, because this sucked. I jacked it up to do that. We're 4 weeks later, it's still in the air. It's been a nightmare. I had to cut the sway bar off, and I'm having a hard time finding one of those too. It's either get a $600 aftermarket one or a $250 one from a scrapyard, but these bushings right here, this was seized on, so these had to be cut off. So I don't know, I'm putting it back together with no sway bar right now just because I need it to move and use it and get it out of my driveway. The G80 Locker is locked now, so it'll basically be a limited slip at all speeds, which is nice, which was the whole reason I did this, was to do some snow drifting. As you can see, the snow has come and gone, and I missed it because it was up in the air for so long. So there's been a lot of swearing, but it's gonna be driving again, so that's good. I'm having some regrets about this whole independent with the white block situation, but hopefully those pass and I still stay on the one true path. I'll just show you really quickly how the e-brake works, because there's not a lot of info online for these. So we got a cable right here, and then that comes into this guy. That's the middle e-brake. So there's one on each side that hooks into this, and then you pull that and it triggers both of these. So I've got a new one of those in on that side. That side's good to go. And then I'm just waiting. As you can see, this is cut, but yeah, it slips in here with a clip and then slips through here. I think you can manage it without dropping the subframe. It's gonna be tight, but we'll see. This all adds to the swearing. Here's how my life is going. Losing bolts overnight in the snow because I'm hillbillying it on the ground. Reinstall my blades here.
Oh, glory!
Just got to reinstall all the interior panels because I was taking the ECU out because I was looking at getting a chip. I'm thinking about doing a FezCan chip to do E85 and a couple more horsepower. I don't know. I think you should get like 15 horse or something with some timing, high rev limiter, and some E85. Let's see how that goes. We got E85 here. I've never used it before. Okay, problem number 463. I guess the CV pulled out, which I don't even know how that makes sense. Like, I got one side jacked up here and it just free spins. Okay, car's back on the road. We're cruising. We're not moving. One of the CV axles, I guess, slid out because the way the subframe is, if you leave the transverse leaf in there, it kind of flexes the CV axles, and one of them popped out. So when I put everything back together, I figured it would kind of flex back in and pop in, but I guess it didn't quite align in the right spot. So I drove around. It basically felt like I had one wheel locked. It was pretty crazy to drive. I don't even know how it drove, but shouldn't have driven it. I popped the wheel off, went and got a 36 mil socket, and then I was able to pop the axle nut off and kind of just lift it up, push it, and twist it, and got it in pretty no problem. Probably the smoothest thing that's happened on this car so far. And now we're cruising. The diff is locked. It definitely sways a little bit more without the sway bar, and the front strut's still blown, so not a lot accomplished.